Hello everyone, and welcome to the next reading at Radiant Energy. So all our energies are radiating together in this collective space right now, irrespective of when you are arriving in this space, because time, as we know, is an illusion, and through that illusion we are all collectively together whenever you are watching this recording. So let's begin. So the first card I'm going to draw today is from a deck of Inner Sunshine. So there is something inside you that is drawing you to look for readings like this, to seek wisdom that is beyond what we understand through our conscious mind, and use your inner mind to lead you into a space, the inner mind being subconscious or your prime consciousness, your higher self, whichever word works for you. It's basically coming from beyond what your waking thoughts and ideas are. And I'm just going to do one final shuffle before drawing the card to see in which direction. Ooh, and we have a volunteer. So let's see in which direction this particular set of cards is going to take us today. So the first card reads, as you see here, Overcoming. I freed myself from fear and trusted the universe. I point my thoughts to the beauty within and around me. I create light with my spiritual power and knowledge. I overcome all doubt. So if any of you are feeling doubt at this moment in the decisions that you might be taking in your life, in the direction that you are taking, this is confirmation that you should not be having any doubt, but actually overcoming any such doubts that are holding you back from believing that you are in the right place at the right time. And this next card tells us how we should be doing that. The first step being self-respect. I follow my heart. My heart knows what is good for me. I respect my limits. I answer the requests of my body and soul. As a result, I learn to love myself. Loving yourself is so important, and often through the way that loving yourself is represented in many cultures, there is a false belief that if you love yourself, then you're being selfish. You are taking that love away from other people who may be deserving of it. And that is absolutely not true, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. So the first thing that you need to do is learn to love yourself and believe in the life force that flows within your body. It's a beautiful instrument that we have to carry our souls with. And this card tells us life force. I am a being of light. I receive the divine energy within. I regenerate every cell. So this reading is on a channel called Radiant Energy, and I very strongly believe that we all are just radiating energy. We are all forms of energy, and these different forms represent us at different times of our life, in different bodies. But we all come from the collective, which is one. And that is the first link that you form with your higher self. So often we need to be guided by something that you will hear a lot of tarot readers call spirit animals. These animals are not necessarily the very animal that the card I will be drawing next will tell us about, but it is about talking about the strengths of those animals, the abilities of those animals, which are sometimes far beyond what human abilities may be. So as you know, wolves are able to smell and hear much more sharply than you and I would be able to while we are limited to this human form. So let's see what animals are guiding you with their energy and asking you to consider how you could be applying these different methods that they apply in their daily lives to your life to improve it. So I'm going to give a couple of shuffles to this deck before we see which animal would like to come forth for all of us in this collective reading and give us its guidance, encourage us to use the methods, the techniques that are naturally inherent within that animal's existence. And it's something that you might have to actually make yourself aware of as something that you need to portray and you need to represent within your lives. So let's have a look and see what animal we are drawing and what it guides us. Action. That's the card that I have drawn. And it's of something that is called, I don't know if I'm getting that wrong, but it's a form of a goat, as you can see in this image here. And let's see what guidance we get from it. It says, now is the time to act. Opportunities are here. Move forward with confidence. Your talents will always help you land on the pinnacle. So I believe, based on what I've just read, this is one of those goats that actually climb mountains. And they do it in the most precarious way, which we humans would probably struggle to be able to replicate in most times. But you are being asked to take action and be quick. Your quick and keen senses will lead you to success. So these goats are very nimble and very nifty in climbing those precarious mountain slopes, and you are being asked to overcome all doubt that you might be carrying within yourself. Find the self-respect that you are maybe struggling with at this moment. Use the life force within you and take action, just like these mountain climbing goats do. So in order for us to understand this a little bit further, what I tend to do is I tend to use the energies of tarot cards, but at the same time, we don't use the tarot cards as they would be traditionally used, in the sense of using them to do a prediction. It's encouraging you to understand where you stand right now and not do the prediction of the next steps that you need to take, but actually take insights and decide on, surprisingly, what action you need to take in order for you to find the ideal life that you might be seeking. So let's just shuffle these cards here and see which cards we draw for today's reading and see where it takes us on the path of psychology. So I am a chartered psychologist, and I have studied psychology for many years of my life. From various perspectives, from obviously the cognitive side of things, the way that we apply psychology in various aspects of business. So I use my knowledge combined with the energies that are reflected through the cards that I draw to give you an understanding of what you might need to do next in your life in order to find the ideal path that you may be seeking. We're all seeking the next goal, the next path in our lives. I have yet to come across a human who is satisfied 100% in the place that they are. So no matter how rich, poor you may be, how well established in life, or how you might be struggling in a place that might look difficult, there are various learnings that we can draw from these places. And the only place that we use those learnings to draw from is our own mind. So let's have a look and see what cards we draw today to understand this a little bit better. So the first card, beautifully drawn, is the Page of Wands. Now, the Suite of Wand tells us that what it is that might be your higher purpose that has brought you into this human realm, and what it is that you might be seeking. So the Page of Wands means you are starting at the first step of seeking this divine guidance. So welcome. The next card that we draw is the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords, which is very much associated with your mind and how you think. And then we have the Five of Swords. So very interestingly, a whole range of minor arcana cards is what we have pulled today. Minor arcana cards mean that you are not yet 100% ready to let the universe take over and lead you in the direction that it decides for you to go in, but you want to hold back some of the cards and make some of those decisions yourself. So it's an interesting set of cards that we have drawn today, where we started with your inner guidance telling you to overcome, have self-respect, and find the life force within you. Together, this would point towards a form of knowing your own value in psychology, because when there is lack of self-respect, you may not necessarily know your own value. And the action card that we see through this mountain goat or pronghorn, I believe this animal is somebody who is able to be very nimble, climb high, and it reminds us that the progress it makes doesn't come only from forcing itself, but also trusting the strength and the ability that it already has within itself. And that's what you are being invited to do, especially looking at the first card we drew today, which is the Page of Wands. As I said, the Page of Wands comes from the need to fulfill something in your higher self, from your higher self. It's that first spark that you have of curiosity, and that leads to some sort of creativity, drive within you. And when you put the lens of self-worth from psychology onto this card says that you need to trust that your ideas are worthy, even if they're not fully formed yet. You don't need to perfect them before you begin. Just like I have not perfected my art yet before I began this tarot channel, reading your energies and the radiance that we all bring together. So just like that, you also don't need to perfect your art before you begin. Whatever, I'm calling it art, your idea, before you begin. The message that this card seems to be giving is that your fire matters simply because it's yours. The Seven of Swords following the Page of Wands seems to be a little bit of an uneasy form of energy, because sometimes it makes me believe that it's talking about the strategies that many of us are taking in moving forward in life. And sometimes it makes me think about how we tend to self-sabotage ourselves, especially when your self-worth, your value of who you are wavers. You might be doing things like hiding your intentions or doubting your ability, seeking confirmation from others if you are the person who you think you are, and sometimes cutting corners just to avoid being seen as the person that you are. So this card is asking, what would shift if you trusted that who you are at this moment is already enough, without you needing to disguise yourself or take any forms of shortcuts? And finally, I think this road ahead is going to challenge you, because the Five of Swords usually signals conflict, but because the Suite of Swords is also something that is within our own mind, there's a very, very good chance that this is an inner battle that you are fighting right now. The struggle to prove yourself, to win against your own doubts, to come out on top, even if your peace is lost in that exchange. So through this lens of self-worth, this card reminds us that the true victory doesn't come from proving your values to anybody else but yourself first. It actually comes from no longer needing that proof at all. Just believe in yourself. So since the thread today has been around reading your self-worth, and it's not something that you need to win, earn, or be shameful of and hide. It is your life force. It's always there waiting to carry you forward with the endurance of this mountain goat, Pronghorn. What I want to do now is draw another card that represents what might be going on now in your mind that we have done this reading. And whoops, there we have a volunteer. And the volunteer couldn't have been more apt. The volunteer is belief. Look at that beautiful card. So that's exactly what the universe is asking you to do. Believe in yourself. It's asking you to be confident. I am confident that I will achieve my goal. I live in the present and have hope from the future. Oh, wow. I believe in my value in the universe. Apologies, I haven't yet figured out how to show you the words on this card very well, but I guess it's practice that'll make perfect. So, just like this card represents this beautiful image where there is a golden light that is being emitted from the person in this image, and the golden light is not very clear if it's coming from outside or within them. So the golden light is within you. And as we always do, we end up closing off with the same set of cards that we started off with. I think that is a good way to round up our reading for the day and understand what elements we are being asked to draw upon through this tarot reading, using the oracle cards to deepen our understanding and bring the psychological concept to life. So let's see what other animal spirit is guiding you, what other animal strength, what other animal's abilities you need to draw upon in order for us to better understand what it is that you need to do next. Authentic. Just like the penguin, reach out to your tribe in times of need. Family gives you strength when you face the storm. Love your uniqueness. You are full of surprises. Break free from others' expectations. Just be yourself. Be authentic. And family, those of us who are blessed to have them in our lives, they sometimes view us from a very different lens than we do ourselves. We are very much more self-critical, and the kind of conversations you have in the recesses of your mind, you might never find yourself uttering those words to another person. But we choose to be very harsh with our own selves. So I invite you to reach out to your family members. If you don't have immediate family around you, that's fine. You have your chosen family around you, of your friends. And if all else fails, you have this channel, you have me. So add your thoughts into the comments here and ask yourself the question. This is what I want to leave you with in this reading. Where in your life can you start acting as if you are already enough? Which one place can you start acting that you are already enough? Don't start with the toughest one yet. Start with the one that you might find easier. to believe in. It's a step-by-step journey of self-belief and believing in your own worth. I invite you to take that first step today and have a blessed day, evening, night, whatever time zone you're in. I wish you a blessed life. Thank you.